Serena Williams, Robin Wallace, Katie Ledecky. These are just a few of the women who have, through their skills and dedication, inspired other girls and sports enthusiasts from around the world to be all they are capable of being. What if there were a place where the legacy, artifacts, and memories of women such as these could be preserved and their accomplishments promoted? The goal of the Women's Sports Museum is to create such a place in Sarasota, Florida. Beyond honoring the very talented female athlete, the Women's Sports Museum will also be a place to recognize the cohort of women who have built careers in sports-related endeavors. Architects, coaches, sports agents, umpires, referees, announcers and trainers, owners, administrators, and journalists who have supported and continue to support achievements of female athletes for the fans, enthusiasts, and casual observers from around the world. Sue Parsons-Zapay, a former player and board member of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, dreamed of establishing a place to honor the achievements and recognize the dedication of female athletes. Through her perseverance and enthusiasm, Sue was able to convince a small group of people to take up the banner and run with her idea, while she herself continued to run out in front, leading the way.
We were trying to decide what we would do with our memorabilia and how we could preserve our history. And my idea was to have a museum for all women's sports, which I think will last forever and ever. And I would love to see something like that happen before all of us pass on to the great diamond in the sky. And that's what my dream is. Right now we have a really good committee set up here in Sarasota. They're working on it.
Mike, Michelle, Chris, Dinah, Peter, Kathy, Jean, and Sue began a roller coaster ride to bringing the idea to reality. And the idea was big. Bigger than one sport, bigger than just athletes and their achievements, bigger than the preservation of legacies. The Women's Sports Museum is a place to encourage girls and women of all ages to promote their appeal in sports and sports-related interests through education, programs, workshops, and an archive of stories of those who continued to achieve and motivate us all.
You had to learn not only how to play, but the intricacies of the game, the whole thing. Whether you were a catcher, a first baseman, a pitcher, or an outfielder, you learned it all.
The people thought they're going to go out and have a good laugh and see this novelty that, women playing in skirts. Well, they weren't laughing when they saw how well we played.
Baseball promoted the dream, but the experiences of that dream gave Sue and the rest of the founders the ambition to make the museum all about women's sports and all women who have supported sports in everyday life. It wasn't all that long ago that only men were recognized as being capable, physically and psychologically, to participate at a competitive level in sports. These myths were quickly put aside by the Babe. Not Ruth, however.
Indeed, most sports were considered too strenuous for women. The so-called men's sports, such as golf, track and field, baseball, football, and swimming, were thought to be beyond the ability of women to master, and doctors even warned that high-stress sports might harm a woman's reproductive system. One woman more than any other proved everybody wrong. Mildred Ella Babe Diedrichson. From basketball, she turned to track and field. She won 5 events: shot put, javelin, and baseball throws, 80-meter hurdles, and the long jump. Her performance was incredible. In 3 hours, she broke 4 world records and qualified for the 1932 Olympics in 5 events. At the Los Angeles Olympics, she again broke world records in 3 events, winning gold medals for the javelin and hurdles and a silver in the high jump. Eventually, Babe took up golf. She would rise to become the greatest female golfer the world would ever see.
Billie Jean King was the premier women's tennis player of her time, a 6-time Wimbledon singles champion whose warm and candid personality and emotional style of play helped revolutionize women's sports.
I love tennis very much. I wanted it to change ever since I started in the sport. I thought it was just for the rich and just for the white. And ever since that day when I was 11 years old and I wasn't allowed in a photo because I wasn't wearing a tennis skirt, I knew then that I wanted to change the sport. And tonight, a lot of non-tennis people saw tennis for the first time. I don't even care what kind of match it was.
The Women's Sports Museum is not just a center to help preserve history. It will also actively promote modern female athletes and girls aspiring to be in sports-related careers.
When we were your age, students out there, and we could think about what we wanted to do in our lives, the idea of being female journalists, not even just sports journalists, didn't exist. That's how far we've come. Maybe one day, female sports journalists aren't going to still be viewed as some sort of anomaly.
My favorite player is probably Julie Johnston because she's a great defender and I play defense too. I like Hope Solo because I'm a goalie too. I can't pick a favorite. They're all just amazing.
I have a young daughter, and so to have these players be a role model for her and all the other little girls and boys out there.
Because they have these dreams and they put them out and they show everyone that you can do it too.
When I was first invited to Harlem, I found there were very few opportunities for girls, and there was certainly no figure skating. What's unique about figure skating in Harlem is we combine leadership development, education, and figure skating. And we use this to empower girls to be able to make choices and succeed in all aspects of their life. I've seen hundreds of girls come through the program, some starting at the age of 6, staying all the way to senior year and going off to college. Nothing makes me more proud than to see someone come out of their shell, to see them improve in their grades, and to go off to a college and choose a career of their dreams.
From past to present to future, the Women's Sports Museum will be a place to preserve, recognize, and promote all things related to female athletes. And that's why we're making it happen. Right here in Sarasota.